Okay, in this graph, we see that there are two starting possibilities. We can start either at S0, so in this position, or we can start in S1, this entry point. So then we have more possibilities. And in fact, we can start at two positions, but there are also two end state. This is an end state, but this one also an end state. So I can start at two positions and I can end in two positions. So in total, there will be four possible combinations. Okay, let's see what happens if we begin in S0 and end in S0. And of course, we can go to S1, we can go back with a B to S0, and we can do this as often as we like. So when we start in S0 and end in S0, we have the cycle AB, 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 etc. And of course, lambda is also part of this cycle because we can even start the end before we start it. Okay, so that's one situation. Then we can have the situation where we start in S0 and end in S1. Okay, so then we have minimal 1a, and then we can cycle back to S0 to B and go up again with A. So then we have A, B, A, star. Okay, S1 starting point, S1 ending point. So now we have BA star. And the last one starting in S1 and ending in S0. So then we have minimum 1B, and then we can cycle with AB all the time. So our total expression would be AB star or a BA star or BA star or BAB star. And now hopefully you see that having a graph as a way of making the language visible is quite nice, because to read the graph it's much easier than to read this complete expression. And it depends on the language you're using which notation would be easiest, either a regular expression or a graph or sometimes a set notation. Okay, if we look at this one, we have a starting point in S0, and then we can have 0 or 1 as often as we like. 0 or 1 as often as we like. We move on to S1 with 1. We move on to S2 with 1. And that's the end. So the complete language consists of words ending with 1, 1 and preceded with as many zeros and ones as the user likes to have. In a set notation, this would give us 0 or 1, star, 1, 1. Okay, starting point S0, and then we go with an A to S1. Then we have to go with a B to S2, and we can stop. So if we like to proceed, we have a cycle again. So we can go back to S1 with an A and go up to S2 with a B. So AB star. So the minimum one is AB, and then we can stop, or we can take as many ABs as we like. So in set notation, AB, AB star. Okay, this looks complicated. So we're starting at S0, then we go to S1 with a choice between A, B or C. We go to S2 with a choice with A, B or C, and we go back to S0, which is also an ending state. And of course, you see that the first state is an ending state, so lambda is part of this language. So the regular expression, in fact, already starts with a big star, because lambda is part of it. Okay, so then what happens in the middle? So from S0, I have to go to S1 with A or B or C. Then I have to go to S2 with A or B or C. And I have to go to S0 again with A or B or C. And this is then the total expression. In a set notation, it would give us A, B, C 3 times, and that complete one with a star. Okay, now we have two graphs, and these graphs both together represent one finite state machine, so one language. Okay, so let's see. We can start at S0 and then finish at S1. What language, what kind of words can we make then? We can have as many zeros as we like. We have a 1. We have again as many zeros as we like. We have a 1. And we're back in S0. We can have as many zeros as we like. We can have a 1, etc. Okay, if I make this in one regular notation, so first part is as many zeros as I like, 1, and then after I've put in as many zeros as I like, I can end, because now I'm in S1. So if I want to start over again, I have to start with 1, 1, as many zeros as I like, 1, and as many zeros as I like. And I can repeat this over and over again. So that's one part. And the other part would be starting in S2 and finishing in S2. Okay, so that means lambda is part of my complete expression. So we can have 1 star, we can have a 0, 1 star, and a 0. And then I can again do 1 star as often as I like. Then I'm still in S2, so this complete part then needs a star. So the combination of the two would be the first one or the second one. Okay, that's it for the languages part. I hope you enjoyed it and it's not getting too complicated. Especially working with the finite state automator with the state diagrams will be very helpful in your later career as a software developer. If you have any questions, feel free to join me again in a Teams meeting. Thank you.